The Sarnia Sting are pleased to select Alessandro Di Iorio from the Vaughan Kings U16 hockey club.
Yeah, exciting player, obviously, right? Like someone that to pick that high is not necessarily something we were really looking forward to. But once the opportunity came and we know we could get a player like Alessandro, it was, really an easy decision once it all narrowed itself down. Just, we think he's going to do, mostly everything. Right? He's one of those dynamic type players, right shot center. We think he'll be able to play in all situations. His family, his character is just so elite. And the last, a little bit of time we've been spending with him and his family, it's just kind of, leading to the fact that we knew we made a great decision. So we're excited to get things started with him for sure. Yeah, you know what? His Youth Olympics was a big thing for us. The fact that we knew he was on the world stage and, representing Canada, and arguably, you're right, one of the best players, in the tournament. And just his goal scoring touch is something we saw with Vaughan, with the Vaughan Kings, but just such a gamer. The puck runs through him. One of those types of people that can be, used in all situations, whether it be offensively, defensively, huge draw on the kill, even being a power play threat, a shooting threat off the flanks. I think just for us, it just drew all of the intangibles. Like we said, we drew us in. It's just everything that he is, his off ice, his on ice, the way he, the professionalism that he has already at a young age, the way that, he's carrying himself. You can see that in some of his interviews. It's just one of those really unique type of players you don't get a chance to pick very often unless you're picking in the top, 5 of every draft class. So we think he's going to be, we don't put a lot of pressure on him. We say that a lot, but to be honest, we think he'll be a pretty dynamic player in this league and in the next one. I'm pretty sure that he'll be someone we're watching on Saturday nights on Hockey Night in Canada at some point.
Sarnia Sting are pleased to select Gahan from the Palmyra Black Knights U15.
Yeah, we think he's going to be a sneaky good pick. We saw him early in London in October and just really caught our eye. Another right shot center, kind of lanky, finds his way around the ice really well. Bit of a distributor, long reach, just kind of those types of players that your eyes are drawn to him. And the more we watched him, whether it be London and then, multiple times throughout the course of the year, just somebody that we see a lot of talent in and had great conversations with him and his family. And we kind of like to do that, to be honest, is find some players that, we think can be impactful for us, and whether they're from Ontario or US or wherever, and he's just someone we chased a bit. And, once he gets in here and learns our league and kind of gets stronger, he'll be a player that has got some exciting upside. Loves the puck, and just kind of physically raw and just kind of developing. But a sneaky pick for us. Yeah, not a lot of guys knew him. We knew that, and we made some good relationship with him and his family and his agency, and he'll be here in Sarnia, and we'll just kind of let him figure out his timeline.
Sarnia Sting are pleased to select Beckham Edwards from the Detroit Little Caesars U15.
You know what? There was a real healthy argument in our draft room on that pick, to be completely honest with you. I mean, we'd had some positive conversations with Beckham and his family, but there was a lot of uncertainty. And it just felt like one of those drafts where there was a lot of uncertainty with a bunch of players, and Beckham was one of them. And while he had a commitment and a tender, we in our minds thought that our proximity may kind of come into help us, and maybe they'll kind of reconsider, so to speak. So the debate within our room was, is this a pick that we're willing to kind of risk, or is there? And there was multiple players that we really liked and our staff really liked. But ultimately with Beckham, it's just a left shot center, long, lanky stride, got a goal scoring touch. There's just too many things that we saw. We think he's got pro upside. We think he'll be able to play in all situations. And we watched basically the chemistry between Alessandro and Beckham at the Youth Olympics and thought, what if? And all those variables kind of led us to trust our instincts and say, let's just draft him and let's let the process take its turn. And never thought it would be something that would come this early. We anticipated it'd be like a 1 to 2 year recruitment process, but we were really fortunate that we made a little headway and the door kind of slowly opened. And I'm not going to lie to you, I banged it open and basically, lived and moved into the Edwards house for a better part of a month to make sure things would get done. And, we're thrilled, to add him, just like the others, and Alessandro and Chase. He'll have to take his time to progress within our league, but long term, we see some really dynamic upside in his game for sure. Yeah, there is a connection there. I know for Shane, just a kind of really steady defenseman. Just as the season went on, and we didn't really see a whole lot of D once we got to that pick that were going to be available. And for us, he's just a real steady kid. Knows his role. Real good family, hard worker. Still a lot of upside. Offensively, his stick will comp, but he knows how to defend. He's got really good feet. He's got looks like a long frame. I'm sure he's going to grow a little more, and not someone that we know we have to rush, which is usually a pretty exciting thing. This league is hard to play in, and we say this, we think it's the best development league in the world, and it's not an easy transition. So sometimes when you can get a player like Shane in the 4th round that give him a year or 6 months, you'll know if things will really work out well. I think that's the big thing, right? Like how big were their summers? I mean, what did they learn? Like what did our players learn last year? Obviously a struggling young team, but that meant guys get a chance to play. And so what do they take from that? How do they transition that to their summer training and their focus? And do you take a step? Are you an 06 player that maybe he's, hasn't really found their game, but we saw and loved their upside? Well, now's the time to push a challenge for, a more important role. And yeah, can the 07 group, can they push into the lineup and play up the lineup? And the 08s are coming and humming, and some of our older players, can you be a leader and pull our team along? We don't anticipate being a top 4 team in the Western Conference, but we anticipate being highly competitive every night. Like, we want that that kind of idea, knowing that this young team is going to run through us, and we better be ready to play tonight or else. And that's the mindset we're trying to spread around the league. And we want it to be a 2-3 year mission, and if we chip away at it this year, and that's great. And then we know in year 2 and year 3, we expect to be, one of the teams that no one wants to play. We've been there, a couple of years ago, and we're going to get right back at it. And so the expectation with these guys is basically drive the bus right down the middle of the ice, and let's make sure that Sarnia is a hard team to play against every night. I think we're getting there.